We don't believe that happened in Fairfax or Arlington or Alexandria because we live 10 minutes away.
No.
We don't believe it.
No, we don't believe
We
it.
don't.
But we need an open. We need an open. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Doc Rivers is out. The NBA playoffs are set, and Alexander Ovechkin says he has not decided whether he's retiring. But we begin today with the Masters and the roller coaster ride between Friday and Sunday of Rory McIlroy. On Friday, McIlroy was 6 shots ahead of everyone. By the 6th hole Sunday, McIlroy was 2 shots down to Cameron Young and later 2 shots down to Justin Rose. McIlroy recovered, had 4 birdies between holes 7 and 13 and won barely when he made a bogey from behind a tree on 18. Wilbon, we both watched. What do you make of how Rory did this, and where does this place him historically among the greatest golfers?
The historical placement I'll get to in a second. Tony, it was rousing. I mean, the fact that he built that crazy lead, and that's all people talked about for, overnight. And then it's frittered away so quickly.
Gave it back.
Right?
Yes.
And so we got the drama that I think a lot of us were hoping for. Not to root anything bad for Rory, because I'm one of those people who generally roots for Rory and thinks he's just a sort of a fine person and a champion. But he had to wilt a little bit to get the drama. And then he had to show one of the overused words in sports I find is resolve. Everybody thinks they have resolve. They don't have anything. That took resolve. He's looking at the board, and Rory does look at the board as opposed to some golfers who do not. He's looking at the board, he sees himself, and he just pulls it together.
Yeah.
And other people, I told you, you texted me and you said, it looks like he's done.
Yes. I said,
hold on.
He was over par by 3 holes on the first par 3s in the course.
All true, but I thought nerves were going to set in on the others, and that's exactly what happened. And Rory survived it. It became a marathon. It was so cool, really quickly, the historical placement. Tony, if you get to 7, he's at 6 now, majors, championships. You get to 7, you're with Arnold Palmer and Bobby Jones. Yeah. And this guy's above that. But if you get to 7, and Rory is now within 1 of that.
I'm going to give you another R word that I don't like, but it applies in the same way, and that is resilience.
Yes.
He lost the lead, he regained the lead. Look, I'll give you a statistic that I think is fabulous that I heard this morning from our friend Steve Sands from the Golf Channel. Everybody thinks Rory's the greatest driver of the golf ball in the world, certainly the longest. Okay. 91 people played in this Masters. Rory was ranked 90th in driving accuracy, 90th, and he still won. The drive on 18 could have landed in South Carolina. Yeah, it could have. So Rory was great when he had to be great. He was great on that stretch from 12 through 18 on Friday with 6 birdies. He was great yesterday in the middle of the course, getting 4 birdies on a stretch from 7 through 13. He showed resilience. He regained the lead, and he was great on that putt on 16 away from the hole. That was Tiger-esque. That was a great play. He was also remarkably lucky. He was lucky that Justin Rose, I'm going to keep going for a while, that gagged in front of him, on the back 9. He was lucky that neither Cameron Young, who's the other person I'm thinking about, Russell Henley, I'm getting to him, that they didn't press him late in the round. And he was extremely lucky that Scottie Scheffler missed a birdie putt on 17 by 1 inch on the left-hand side. Okay, extremely lucky. Because that way, nobody was within 1 of him. They were within 2 of him. He could afford that drive cushion on 18.
Yes.
He could afford that. In terms of where he ranks overall, so I'm sorry to go way through the bell like this, Rory McIlroy now is one of 4 people ever, now he's the 5th, no, he's the fourth ever to repeat at the Masters, back to back. There's Jack, there's Tiger, there's Faldo, and now Rory. This is an elite group. He has a Grand Slam. He is part of an elite group. If he gets to 10, I believe that he will be one of the 5 or 6 greatest golfers of all time.
10's
right?
a lot, Tom.
I understand that. I think that's it. But I'd also tell you this. He reminds me most of Phil Mickelson because of the way he wins, because of the roller coaster effect.
Yeah.
Like, he went wire to wire technically in this, and it was always in doubt. It was always that. So I equate him with Phil, with Arnie, with Seve, that it's a wild ride.
It's a fun ride if you're a viewer.
It's thrilling.
If you're a consumer,
It's
Rory
thrilling.
was only part of a leading Peloton for much of the round. Scotty Scheffler, as we mentioned, made his big run en route to a second-place finish. Cam Young and Justin Rose both led briefly and then fell off. Colin Morikawa, who you know I like a lot, finished tied for 7th despite being hobbled by back issues. So of the others who were in contention, Tone, for whom did you find yourself rooting?
I think everybody roots for Justin Rose. And Justin Rose is star-crossed at the Masters. He has lost 2 playoffs in the Masters. This was different.
3 second-place finishes.
He had the lead. Okay, after the front 9, he had the lead. He was walking a 10 with a 2-shot lead, and then he gagged. He gagged. In fact, he missed something like a 1-foot putt late. So he gagged on that. And I think we all feel sorry for him. I will repeat on Scheffler. If Scotty Scheffler makes that putt on 17, we're going to a playoff. I mean, Scotty Scheffler was even par for the first 2 rounds, minus 11 on the weekend, 65, 68. Had no bogeys on the weekend, none. He didn't make that putt, and I think he would have won. I do think he would have won. So now he has a second place with 2 firsts in that particular tournament. I found myself, and I want to pronounce this name correct, rooting, that's Jack Nicklaus territory, by the way, that he's got in his last 20 majors, Scheffler is in the top 10 16 times. What? Yes. 16 times. Hao Tong Li from China, with whom I was unfamiliar. But as you know, because you watched, on Friday and Saturday, he hit irons to 2 feet from everywhere on the course. And then he had a disastrous back 9. He shot
80.
He shot 44 on the back.
80.
He had a 10. We have 10.
He putted 10 into the water, off the green, completely. That's that meltdown. And by the way, we didn't see any of it.
We don't have 10s because we just take an 8.
I don't want to be critical. We're picking up.
Picking up. Stop.
Putting off. Things happened that you want more explanation for. It sounded Van de Veldian, but we didn't actually see it. But he shot 80. Like you, I was rooting for Justin Rose.
Yeah.
And
I was rooting for Rory.
And I always
was overall rooting for Rory.
Colin Morikawa, as you know.
I know.
I thought he was going to have to withdraw. He suffered the injury last week, and he had this late charge and made 5 birdies in a row on Sunday. Are you kidding?
Carol Hatton had a late charge too. Got to 10. He got to 10.
You know what? The tournament is always rewarding for some reason or another. You can find something about the Masters to be happy with. You've got this drama involving usually the sport's greatest names for 4 days. But I thought this was particularly that way because it gave you so many characters and teased you and pulled them back.
The critical moment in what you're saying is when Rory gives back the lead on Saturday. Fairly quickly, and that makes a drama. I just need to add one more thing here. The second shot for Rory on 18, we didn't know where it landed for like
a while.
2 to 3 minutes. This is the most important shot in the tournament. We didn't know where it was. Suddenly it's in the sand. It could have been on the moon. We did not know. That was amazing. Let's move to the NBA and what feels like the first of what might become many coaching changes. Doc Rivers out in Milwaukee. Took the job 2.5 seasons ago, went 97-103 and never advanced in the playoffs despite the presence of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Wilbon, does this parting of ways make sense to you?
Yes. Yeah, it does make sense to me. I'm looking at this from a different perspective. I've been friends with Glenn Rivers for decades.
Long time.
Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I'm neutral. I'm not. Giannis hasn't done a damn thing for 5 years, but sort of put it out there that he doesn't really know what he wants to do. He's not available for any important game in the playoffs. Let me say it again. For 5 years. Since winning a championship, he starts every season like a house of fire. And everybody says, oh, Giannis is one of the 3 or 4 greatest players in the game. And you get to game 3 in the playoffs and he ain't there. So they should have traded Giannis before. You know,
You thought he'd be traded by the deadline.
I did.
You said that a number of times.
I worried about Doc in this job because it's tied directly to what Giannis can or cannot do. Any NBA head coaching job has that dynamic. And I got tired of Giannis, even though he's a great player when he's there. But in the playoffs, what?
Let me give you a statistic that you're going to like. He has not played more than 67 games out of 82, only once in the last 7 seasons, something like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
So what he is basically is Joel Embiid without laying on the ground holding his leg. That's what he has become. Look, last week we had Brian Windhorst on this show. The first question of Brian was, what's happening in Milwaukee? And he said he did not think neither Doc nor Giannis would be there next year.
Right.
So far, he's 1 for 1. And I agree with you that Giannis is a great player. He's got a ring. He's a great player. But he also appears to be a divisive human being on that team. He has gotten rid of 2 coaches already, I believe, and you agree with me on that.
No,
and I guess he liked Doc for an hour. We don't know what happened after that.
No, he still likes Doc. There's
it
no
didn't work
between Doc and
it's not working there.
Giannis.
They got to get rid of him.
It's not working.
Okay, I have grown weary. I've grown weary of Giannis saying I'm going to be here next year, and then 24 hours later saying I don't know if they want me to be here next year. For all I know, he's buying a house in another city someplace. I don't have any idea, but it's not working there, and it's got to change.
And so the parting of the ways, which you asked me, it needed to be. Look, Doc Rivers has, first of all, had a Hall of Fame career. He just won the Hall of Fame.
Got a ring.
Okay, got a ring. Hall of Fame. He had a distinguished playing career. And as Doc said the other night, he's got X number of grandkids. I forget the number. It's either 6 or 9. He's got grandchildren now. I don't know how Doc got to grandchildren before I did.
He's also got a membership at Bel Air.
He's got sets of clubs. And he said that, right? So go do it. So do that. He doesn't need any more of this.
Do you think a lot of coaches will get fired, or you think we won't have many?
No, I don't think
I was surprised Doug Christie was kept on in Sacramento.
But wait a minute.
22 and 60.
Wait. But you know why?
No, I'm asking.
Their organizations wanted these teams to tank and lose.
Okay.
So your coach in Washington is not going to get fired either.
No, he's not. Keith, everybody thinks he's gone. No, he's not gone, because he's doing what the owner and the general manager said to lose. Yeah. They finished 1-26. Let me repeat that.
What? Who's the win?
1-20. They beat Utah because Utah tanked in front of them. 1-26. You should not get a draft pick for that. Is Adam Silver paying attention? You should not. Let's take a break. Coming up, with the regular season over, what should we be looking forward to in the NBA's postseason?
And is Alexander Ovechkin retiring or not retiring? The regular NBA season just smelled. It was awful.
Too many teams tanking.
It was god-awful. It was just awful.
And people don't play.
Now, luckily, the playoffs, which I guess the teams care now. Well, how about giving us a product? Because it's
moving the masses in mail time. I'll get the first one.
Okay, sounds
Put on my
good.
glasses
Mail
to
time.
read it. Here we go. Which is the most compelling upcoming NBA playoff series that we know about?
Tony, I think there's a couple in the West. I mean, we get Kevin Durant versus LeBron James. This is probably the last time we're going to see that.
Yeah.
So I find that alone compelling, even though the Lakers are not a real threat without Luka Doncic, even though Doncic is going to rejoin the team this week.
Really?
Yes.
Doesn't fly back from
nobody
Spain?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got no problem with him going to wherever he can be treated to get back in. I'd love to see Luka in the playoffs, but we're not going to see that. So anyway, that's compelling. Minnesota and Denver, a series we've seen a couple of times. Minnesota knocked Denver out when they were defending champs. I love that matchup again. And so we see that anytime there's Wembanyama, it's fun to watch. And the Knicks Atlanta. See, I think that the Atlanta could actually beat the New York
How did
Knicks.
Wembanyama get into this? How did you mention him?
Just because I just wanted.
You just wanted to mention him.
Yes, it was just gratuitous.
Okay,
it was just So, so I gave you 3 series.
Right.
If I had to pick one, I would say Denver, Minnesota.
Okay. So we're waiting for the play-ins to determine the 1-8s and the 2-7s.
Right.
I'm not going to try to sell you on a 1-8. I'm not going to do that. I agree with you that the Denver-Minnesota series and the Lakers series with Houston are good. I think I should say that it's important that we mention the Lakers on this show and we attack all the other shows that do nothing but talk about the Lakers and the Cowboys. Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And that series isn't going to be much because Reeves is not going to play. I don't know if Doncic is going to play. This is not going to be much. So I'm going to agree with you because the last 2 years, Minnesota has gotten to the conference finals. And a couple of years ago, or 3 years ago at the most, Denver won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, you want to, that may be the best first round series in any sport.
Great.
No, in any sport.
It's great.
Because you have a guy, Jokic is the best basketball player in the world, and Anthony Edwards would like to be. So yes, I'll agree with you.
Anthony Edwards has been a giant slayer, by the way. He's eliminated some people.
I'll agree.
He really has. The Knicks, you're not.
I know. I didn't say the Knicks.
I know you skipped over the Knicks.
I didn't say Wembanyama or the Knicks. I didn't say it.
You know I'm going to say Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Ovi, what do you think it means that Alex Ovechkin waved off the post-game farewell handshake with the Penguins? The Penguins seemed very, respectful. Like, they wanted to do this, and Ovi was like, no.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is that he doesn't believe his season is over. Maybe that happens in the final game of the season, but not just the final home game of the season. It was very ceremonial, and he did not want it. You realize
I thought it was cool. I thought it was
the Capitals
cool
can still make the playoffs.
But they got to have the Flyers have to lose twice.
But if they do, they play Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
So there's plenty of time for more face-offs between Crosby and Ovechkin, who came in basically together, who are giant Hall of Fame stars, and who each have won cups. So that's important. You know, so, I mean, what hangs over this is Ovechkin retiring? Is he retiring? Is he staying? Is he on the fence? We don't know where he is at the moment. So I think maybe he just felt that this was a premature congratulation and walk-off.
I think he absolutely felt that way. And it was, you know, there's so many things that we might feel critical about the way people handle, you know, their own careers at the end or late or what, not knowing what to do. I thought that was just very cool.
Yeah.
That he wasn't upset with anybody. He was just saying, hold on, let's not rush this, Sparky. And I like that. But Ovechkin, can he play anymore? If he comes back, he can't defend.
How many goals did he have this year?
I know he can score.
He got a bunch of goals.
He can score, but there's other parts of the game, and the Capitals may miss the playoffs.
32 goals.
Let me say again.
He's 40 years old.
The Capitals, okay. Right. So he's got this thing he does.
Are you saying you're saying he should?
No,
retire?
I'm saying that has to be an examination. And the team, if they're going to really try to be a real team again and win another Stanley Cup.
Right, they're years away from that.
Okay.
They will never just cut him or ask him to leave. They will not do that because he's a draw.
If they don't ask him to stay,
people walk into that gym.
I know, but if they don't ask him to stay, what does that mean?
I think they will ask him to stay. That's enough email. I don't know he will. Let's take one last break. Still to come, Yannick Sinner, not Jacob Sinner. Yannick Sinner that's his brother. Carlos Alcaraz for his third straight tournament win.
And who will go first in tonight's WNBA draft? We got locals.
Who you got going first?